Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Lulu and you're watching Life of Lulu. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for coming. And if you're a returning watcher or viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you and you're a real one. Now, as you can see, the title of this video is Update. So let's get right into it. Well, before I do, I'd like to congratulate all the graduating seniors. You guys did it. You fought your way through a pandemic and Zoom universities and still managed to get your diplomas. Like, you guys did it. Honestly, you deserve to put that on your resumes under special skills, like survived pandemic and Zoom university and still managed to finish my degree.
Nobody's born racist, man. It's something you learn, deep rooted in your brain from the day of your birth. I think it's time that we repair all of these bridges we burned and let love out of our hearts onto the cheeks we've turned. Spread love, show love. Let's get rid of this curse. Don't wait for anyone to act, man. You go first. 400 years wasted. Let's get rid of this hurt, because that's the only way we'll ever see peace on earth.
I can't breathe.
Alright, back to the update. Firstly, I'd like to apologize for being MIA. Honestly, I just needed to catch my breath with everything happening in the US and Nigeria and all over the world. And that in combination with school and the stress of school and exams and projects and assignments and all that. I was just exhausted. I'm sorry. I was completely exhausted. And I know what you're thinking. Calm down. You're on summer vacation. It's not that deep. Can't be that bad. And to that, I tell you, I'm actually still in school. Yeah, I'm one of those dundos that decided to do to choose a school and that uses the quarter system. So I basically go to school all year round. I don't have a summer vacation, bruh. Like. It's the ghetto!
I'm in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta. Ra-ta-ta-ta.
Okay, now back to the serious topics at hand. Chances are, if you have a phone or a television, listen to the news, or have any form of social media at all, you'd have some kind of inclination as to what's happening in the United States right now. All over the country and even in some parts of the world, Black Lives Matter protests are happening to fight against police brutality. And those who aren't able to protest are donating and signing petitions and doing whatever they can in order to enact some real change in the fight against systemic racism and the unjust treatment of Black people in the United States. And to be completely honest with you, it is so hard for me to put into words everything I feel, like exactly how I feel when it comes to everything that's happening right now. But to honestly cut a long story short, for people that are criticizing the protests and drowning out what is actually happening and not focusing on the cause itself, but the few people that are looting or rioting or whatever, all I have to say is, like, who are you to tell someone how to protest, how to fight for their rights, how to speak up in a situation where your voices have been quelched? Think about it this way: when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee, everybody was angry about that. And now and told him that's not the right way to protest.
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
And let's be honest, he was adopted by two white parents. He was well supported. He's a great athlete. I'm sure he worked hard. I also heard his grades were great. But I don't know what his experience could be so negative.
Yeah, here's my question, and this is a serious question I have for these players that are in fact kneeling, because we know that it is so many at this point. It started with Colin Kaepernick, now it has spread, it has infected the league. So I would like to ask these players, what exactly are you kneeling for, and why have you chosen the flag and the anthem to do it?
And now people are marching, and yeah, some people are looting, and you're still like, that's not the right way to protest, but that's not the way to enact change. Well, sir, madam, like, what is the right way to protest? There's no right way to protest. Like, that's just it. There's no right way to protest, and you're not really giving any, like, options. I don't know. I feel like, honestly, there's this one quote by, Nelson Mandela, and it says, when a man is denied the right to live the life he believes in, he has no choice but to become an outlaw. And to like really explain what I'm trying to say even more, I will put a link to the video with Trevor Noah and this other lady. I apologize, I don't know her name. But both of them put it so beautifully well. Like, they explain the situation so well. Like, Trevor Noah mentioned, like, the contract has been broken, like, basically. But you'll see, I'll put a little clip just showing a little part of it. But I will also link it in the description box, and the other video too by the other lady, who I believe she just explained the whole thing beautifully, especially when it comes to the looting and people that are trying to like ignore the bigger picture and focus on like the bad that's coming out of it instead of like the good. She explains it beautifully, and I'm also going to link that below, maybe also put a little clip for you to see what she was talking about. But both of those videos will be linked in the description box for you to also see.
You know what's really interesting about what's happening in America right now is that a lot of people don't seem to realize how dominoes connect, how one piece knocks another piece that knocks another piece, and in the end creates a giant wave. Don't ask yourself if it's right or wrong to loot, or don't ask yourself, wow, what does looting help? No. Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself why it got you that much more watching these people loot, because they were destroying the contract that you thought they had signed with your society. And now think to yourself, imagine if you were them watching that contract being ripped up every single day. Ask yourself how you'd feel.
When you have a civil unrest like this, there are three types of people in the streets. There are the protesters, there are the rioters, and there are the looters. The protesters are there because they actually care about what is happening in the community. They want to raise their voices, and they are there strictly to protest. You have the rioters who are angry, who are anarchists, who really just want to fuck shit up, and that's what they're going to do regardless. And then you have the looters. And the looters almost exclusively are just there to do that, to loot. Now, people are like, well, what did you gain? Well, what did you get from looting? I think that as long as we're focusing on the what, we're not focusing on the why. You must never forget that economics was the reason that black people were brought to this country. We came to do the agricultural work in the South and the textile work in the North. If I right now decided that I wanted to play Monopoly with you, and for 400 rounds of playing Monopoly, I didn't allow you to have any money, I didn't allow you to have anything on the board, I didn't allow for you to have anything, and then we played another 50 rounds of Monopoly, and everything that you gained and you earned while you were playing that round of Monopoly was taken from you. That was Tulsa, that was Rosewood. Those are places where we built black economic wealth, where we were self-sufficient, where we owned our stores, where we owned our property, and they burned them to the ground. So that's 450 years. So for 400 rounds of Monopoly, you don't get to play at all. Not only do you not get to play, you have to play on the behalf of the person that you're playing against. Trevor Noah said it so beautifully last night. There's a social contract that we all have, that if you steal or if I steal, then the person who is the authority comes in and they fix the situation. But the person who fixes the situation is killing us. So the social contract is broken.
And to all those in the streets every day protesting and marching, trying to enact change, I would just like to say a very big thank you, and I hope you guys stay safe. When it comes to protesting, you should always do it safely. So here are some things that you should take note of, like what to wear, what to bring, and so on. So firstly, what to wear. It is best to wear nondescript, solid color layered clothing. Cover any identifying tattoos or marks on your body. Goggles for your eyes, masks, not just because of the pandemic, but because of your nose is one of the most identifiable features on your face. Yeah, your nose and mouth, I believe. So masks. Emergency contacts written down. So again, for international students, it will be a good idea to have your embassy or consulate number written down somewhere, as well as a friend or family member in case anything happens. Make sure if you do go to protest, someone knows you're there. I mean, don't post about it. But make sure a friend or a family member knows where you are at all times. So if anything does go left, hopefully it doesn't, but if anything does, you have someone to contact or someone who knows where you are at any point in time. So if you can't call, they know what to do. Wear heat-resistant gloves. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos, but this would be very helpful when it comes to especially tear gas canisters. There was a video of someone who threw one back. So, yeah, those are really important. And also, this one is really easy. Just tie your hair up. That way no one can yank on your hair. So when your hair is long or free-flowing or maybe even tied in a ponytail, it's easy for someone to get you from behind and like drag on your hair. So tying it up and out of the way is very helpful and very useful. Better yet, if you're not able to tie it up like properly, if you can put your, like, let's say you do a low ponytail or something and put it inside your clothing so it's completely out of the way. And then what to bring. So water for drinking and for tear gas. So like a bottle of water, just so you can drink, obviously, and then water to use to wash your eyes in case you're hit with tear gas. Cash, change, and ID. Yeah, you don't want to take any debit cards, credit cards, things like that. Snacks in case you get hungry. Washcloth, again, for cleaning yourself up. Might need it in case, again, tear gas, water for your eyes, cleaning it up. Your protest signs, of course. Band-aids and first aid supplies in case you do get hurt. Oh, and just for the ID part, again, for international students, don't take anything like a passport or any form of identification that can show your nationality and things like that. Things that you shouldn't bring. Don't bring your cell phone unless you've turned off your Face ID or Touch ID. Put your phone on airplane mode and disable your data. No jewelry. Of course, don't bring anything you don't want to be caught with, especially if you're arrested, like a knife or anything that could be used as a weapon. And this one also, don't bring contact lenses. So if you usually wear contact lenses, if you go for protest, that'll be the best time to get a pair of glasses instead. But yeah, contact lenses, if tear gas is sprayed into your eyes, it will definitely damage something. It will hurt, and I I think it can get stuck in your eyes, so just be careful. So like I said, if you do choose to protest as an international student, it's really important for you to know that there are some risks that are attached to that. So firstly, it's important for you to note that any arrest for a variety of crimes can trigger visa revocation. This is true even if the charges are dismissed. If you are arrested during a protest, this can lead directly to your visa cancellation and deportation. As non-resident aliens, you are not protected by the First Amendment. If you are detained, you can be arrested, as the US Constitution does not protect you. If you still want to protest, here are a few things that you should remember. You are not required to carry identification or provide it to the authorities. If you go to a protest, do not take any identification that shows your nationality or visa status. If you sense that the protest is escalating, now this is very important, or hear that ICE has been called, it is okay to leave if you feel unsafe. Do not disclose your visa status to anyone except your attorney. Recognize your visa status may prevent you from being on the front lines. Allow those with more privilege to fill that space. So, what do you do if you get arrested? If you are arrested and detained, you or a family member can contact an immigration unit helpline. It is also important to know the phone number of your embassy or consulate. If you do want to see any of this information again, NYU's ISC put some really useful information on their Instagram. Again, I will link that. I will link their page in the description below. And there are lots of other resources that you can find. Even on TikTok, there are a lot of people that are giving really useful advice on things to bring and how to dress and what to wear when you go to the protest. So also consider looking at those if you're interested in protesting. Okay, so with all that said, I think it's kind of important to point out how it's crazy that there are people out there that want to tell me and other international students or even people from other countries like that are like vocal about everything that's happening right now in the US. Things like why does it like why does it concern you, or why are you fighting for something that doesn't concern you, and mind your business, or like they wouldn't say it in those words exactly, but like I've definitely heard things like, or people on Twitter saying things like, oh, why are face the things that's happening in your country and things like that. And honestly, it's mind-boggling to me. Again, I'm going to just like refer to Trevor Noah's video. Like he said something about how there's a domino effect, and when things happen, it doesn't just affect that particular place. Like I'm probably paraphrasing a lot, but like I said, just watch this video too, because it's really good. But yeah, to those people that say those things, I'm like, why shouldn't I care? Why shouldn't we care? For me personally, I have friends that are African Americans or Black Americans, family. I am Black and I'm studying in the United States, so it most definitely concerns me. I don't have the privilege of walking outside and not being profiled. If I'm randomly walking down the street and a cop, bad or good, sees me, they won't see an African girl, they're going to see a Black girl. walking down the street. Like, I cannot change the color of my skin. So, of course, it affects me. It affects every black person. And even for the black people that, like, aren't in the United States, they have every right to see that something is going on and call it out for being wrong. Like, wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter if it's happening in your backyard or 10 miles away from you. And it's like people it's like people seem to forget that there are so many things that have happened in this world, like so many wrong things that have happened in this world, that through one way or the other, the global community, like the outcry or the speaking out of the global community, has been able to affect some sort of change in those situations. Like, for instance, women's rights in Saudi Arabia, the Me Too movement in China, apartheid in South Africa. Like, I'm not saying the global community itself completely changed these situations, but the global community speaking out has been able in some way, shape, or form to be able to affect it. Like, think about it. I remember reading about like apartheid and like studying up on it and stuff like that. There were freedom fighters for a long time. Like, Nelson Mandela went to prison for 27 years. And yes, South Africans fought against it, but it wasn't until the global community started putting pressure on the South African government, the regime at the time, did like they start to feel the heat. Because like in their heads they could contain it within the country, but once the global community is like, hey, you know what? We're going to take a step back from you. You're not allowed to participate in XYZ. We're not going to continue doing these things with you, this discourse or these trade deals or whatever. It started to hurt them. And then they were like, you know what? Okay, maybe. I'm really simplifying it, so please don't come at me. But yeah, my point is, the global community does have an impact, so you have no right to tell someone in another country that they cannot care about something that's happening in whatever country that it's happening in. Wrong is wrong, and people should be able to call it out as wrong. So you know how I mentioned like there are people that are like focus on what's happening in your own countries. Are people not able to care about more than one thing at a time? Like, I'm totally vocal about like what's happening in the US. I care about what's happening all over the world, honestly. Right now the world is crazy. We have issues of police brutality in the US, but honestly police brutality is basically, I don't know if it's a pandemic or epidemic. I have to check the definitions of both, but it's an issue everywhere. Like, there are so many parts of the world that police brutality is a problem. So like, to me, fighting for police brutality in one place doesn't mean I don't care about police brutality in another place. You know? I don't know, does that make sense? Let me know. Let's have a discussion. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think. But yeah, as I was saying, so if going back to like focusing on things that are happening in my country, if you haven't heard, there have been a lot of issues come up recently in regards to sexual assault against women in Nigeria. Honestly, everywhere I've heard so many stories about sexual assault in South Africa as well. I mean, it's everywhere. It's sad, really. But like I was saying, there have been many cases, like there have been lots of anger and outcry regarding cases of sexual assault against women in Nigeria. And some of them, just a few that some people might be familiar with. We have hashtag Justice for Uwa, a 22-year-old student who died 2 days after she was reportedly raped in a church in Benin. And I remember reading this story. I mean, honestly, a lot of the stories are similar. And I was on Twitter and there was a guy that was like, in a church? Like, no, that couldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? So are you trying to say it didn't happen because it's in a church? Like, get over yourself and realize what is actually happening. Like, I don't know, I really don't know how to put it. Like, people just like to focus on the wrong things a lot of the time. And it's mind-boggling to me, honestly. I just don't understand. But anyway, there is also hashtag Justice for Jennifer. In April, an 18-year-old girl was attacked and raped by 5 men in Kaduna. Hashtag Justice for Tina. Now, this isn't a sexual assault case per se, but this is like the domino effect that I was talking about earlier, that Trevor Noah was also talking about. Like, when things happen, like, everything is connected, basically. But basically, hashtag Justice for Tina. A 16-year-old high school student was shot and killed after police opened fire at a bus stop in Lagos during a nighttime coronavirus curfew. Again, the issue of police brutality. It's a problem not just in the United States. It's a problem in many countries around the world. And it's something that, as human beings, we should all care about. Does that make sense? Like, we should all feel affected by it, even though you may not personally know someone that has been affected, or you have not personally been affected. That doesn't mean you should let it slide. And then this one, the story of a 12-year-old girl in Jigawa State that was continually raped by 12 men over a period of 2 months. Like, this is just like a small fraction of all the cases in Nigeria alone. And it's mind-boggling. It's just crazy because it's sad to see that there are people that want to victim blame, and you know, they'll be like, oh, what was she wearing? Why was she there? What happened? Why are you focusing on the victim instead of trying to prosecute the offender, the person that committed a crime? It's mind-boggling. Like, the one of the 12-year-old girl is just, it's sad. It's so sad. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, a 12-year-old girl, and I've heard stories of even younger children. Like, honestly, it's a matter of changing people's mentalities. Like, even, like, think about it when we grow up. As we grow up, we're always told, oh, as a girl, you shouldn't do this. I mean, if you went to a Nigerian boarding school, like a really strict one, think about it. I remember, like, oh, you can't do braids because it's a distraction. You can't do this hairstyle or that hairstyle because it's a distraction. You can't wear certain earrings because it's a distraction. Like, you can't do this, you can't do this because it's a distraction. They don't say it's a distraction to you, it's a distraction to boys. Why are we not educating our boys? Why is it just left to the girls? Don't do this, don't do that. You must be this, you must be that. You must act in a certain way not to attract men or not to give them the wrong idea. Like, why isn't why aren't we educating the boys, the men? Like, don't rape. Don't see women as objects. Don't objectify them. Don't over-sexualize them. Why don't we tell boys, focus on your books? Like, I honestly, yeah, it starts from really early on. Honestly, it's crazy. Like, sometimes I'm like, how are we going to tackle these issues when the wrong thing is ingrained in some people's heads and they don't even know or understand? It's crazy. Well, guys, that is all the time I have for today. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just leave that in the comment section. If you want us to have a discussion about like the topics that I kind of glossed over, I wouldn't say I really went over them. It was more like glossing over because these topics are really big and I like kind of mashed them into what however many minutes this video is. And like, gosh, and honestly, like, I understand sometimes with everything that's happening and going on in the world, it's just so tiring and like frustrating to always like try and be in the know, because it's sad things. It emotionally drains you. So I understand, like, not always wanting to be at the forefront of like knowing about these things. Honestly, it's completely understandable. Like, I've been MIA. I haven't filmed any videos because I've been emotionally exhausted. I've been drained. Like, if you think about these things so much and you just, I don't know, sometimes I just bawl into tears because like I'm like, is there really anything I could do? It's just like all too much. But what whew. Yeah. I think the word is compassion fatigue. Like, you just get so tired with trying to be compassionate all the time. Whew. But yeah, let me leave you there. Everyone, as a society, let's try to help one another. Let's be kind to each other. Let's uplift one another. Let's not tear people down. Let's always try to fight for the right thing in any capacity, shape, or form that we can. Yeah, that's all I have for you for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out my social media, follow me, let's engage in some discussions. Yeah, that's all I have for now. Bye, guys.